Since I was a kid, I've been sick. Doctors couldn't really figure out what was wrong with me. They kept prescribing meds, but nothing ever worked. The illness affected me so much, it even messed with my school and my social life. Basically, I had constant phlegm coming up all the time. It made a loud sound and wouldn't let me speak properly. I just lived with it for years. Recently, I read this book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. The stories of healing in that book really hit me, but there was one single line about healing that stood out. Somehow, my mind latched onto it and started repeating it to itself without me even noticing. Eventually, I had it memorized. So about a month ago, I decided to try it consciously. Every night before falling asleep, right as I was drifting off, I'd say, "The idea of perfect health fills my subconscious mind now, and my subconscious mind works perfectly according to this idea." I also wrote on a piece of paper that I was already healed. The sentence came from a story in a book where a government official had healed from lung cancer using this exact affirmation. So I gave it a try. After just 15 days, I started feeling weirdly better. My stomach wasn't bloated anymore. My digestion got way better. And most importantly, the phlegm completely disappeared. I kept checking for days and days, but it just didn't come back. Now I can speak and even sing like a normal person. It's wild. I also went to a new doctor who specializes in digestive health. He told me everything looked fine. He thinks I used to have acid reflux and that was what caused the phlegm, but now it's totally gone. I'm going to be incredibly detailed because this is real, and I want you to feel the joy and success in me. These are the 3 success stories I have learned a lot from, and you can apply on yourself as well. All of them are in the exact order they've been reflected in the 3D, although time is still an illusion. 1. An uneven tan, breakouts, and severe redness, things that used to happen when I wouldn't wear sunscreen. My skin used to get so bad if I didn't wear it. About a month ago, I decided that I don't need it as I am always protected. I always used to see 444, which I believe is protection right before, and after I became the version of me who didn't need sunscreen, and still had perfect skin. But then I remembered what Neville said, that signs come after, not before. So whenever I come out now, I just put on moisturizer and call it a day. I would bask in the sun like I never used to. And I would sit on the side of the bus where the most UV and sun would get on my face. Time skip, nothing happened. All of the things I was afraid would happen never happened, because I was saturating my mind what I wanted. There were moments where I felt bad, but I went on and saturated. Saturation is key. 2. My skin used to get so inflamed, breakouts and redness, whenever I ate dairy or sugar. For 2 years, the only sugar I would take would be fructose from fruits and carbohydrates from white rice. But then, I've been saturating my mind with photos on Pinterest for the past 2 weeks. About 6 days ago, when I was waiting for the bus ride home, I bought chips which had about 15 grams of sugar in it and said, I should have nothing to worry about. I was thinking about brazen impudence the whole time, and later dwelled in Neville's anecdote about Abdullah eating anything. Later on that night, I ate a sugary avocado salad, and then within the next 5 days, I just ate the junk food I've always been craving: chips, powdered milk mixed with powdered chocolate, ice cream, ramen, and a lot more. Nothing's ever happened to me. I admit there were doubts, but I went on, and just assumed that the doubts I had was just my ego 3D self, asking me if this is what I want. I did my job and reassured them that it is. I've never felt so free my entire life. And it goes on to see that everyone is you pushed out. I believe it isn't just everyone is you pushed out, but it's everything. Last night, I manifested there wouldn't be school for us today. I slept by about 12 a.m. because I declared in my 2D there wouldn't be. So I got disappointed because it didn't get to happen the way I wanted it to. I thought, maybe it would happen the next day. I hope it will, I know it will, and it already did. I went to school feeling bad and having doubts about manifestation and just listened to some Neville Goddard videos on YouTube to uplift me. I went on with my day, and enjoyed being around my classmates. Just an hour ago, when I arrived home, our classes were suspended. It was a sunny and kinda warm day. I wasn't expecting it at all. Yet, for some reason, it became a nationwide declaration for suspension. I was amazed. I remembered what I did last night and this morning and got amazed. It proves how doubts just pass. They're just there to ask you if you really want what you desire. You're remembering after all, that's why you really desire them. I've also recalled about how Neville said that even the whole world, in my case, my country's government, declared the suspension. By the way, if it helps, I live in the Philippines and there's a storm coming, even though it's so sunny today. Skin gut great, doubts want you to reaffirm your desire, everything is you pushed out, saturate your mind, the whole world will bring you your desire if need be, just trust that your desire is coming even though the 3D says otherwise, the 4D is the only reality. And it's law that the 3D will always reflect the 4D. It's a matter of time and time is an illusion. A couple months ago I manifested 10K. Before this I had achieved a lot of success with the law, but money was consistently a stuck point for me. I had been short of it my whole life, and I had some upcoming bills that I knew I wouldn't be able to pay. In 2023, I spent 2 months mental dieting for wealth but didn't get anywhere. Since then I had reflected on my mistakes and knew that my failure was due to a lack of consistency. I affirmed I got 10K robotically for 10 days until I had to stop because I had some stuff that required my use of the law more urgently. A week later I picked it back up again and kept going for another 3 days. On the 3rd day I got results. My grandma told me that she had a savings account she had made for me a long time ago with roughly 10K in it. We wired the money out and I got it in a few days. I was able to pay off my bills and tuition, resolving all my immediate financial issues. I had a ton of intrusive thoughts about it all, but I did my best to sort of gently allow them and then shift back to thinking from my new state. Over time it got easier and easier. One thing I noticed from manifesting this money is that my overall attitude towards money improved, as a consequence of matching my new state. It's nothing crazy, but I have a better relationship with money and generally have been more, regardless of the 10K. If anything, I feel this goal was kind of unambitious. I restrained myself to go for only 10K out of fear that more would be too challenging. When I finish my current goal, I'm just going for wealth in general. I'm of course super grateful to have learned the law. It changed my life in many ways. It still feels amazing that I even managed to do this, yet at the same time it's just natural and something that I can expect more of in the future. I've been dating this guy for about a month now, and I've been part of the law of assumption community for almost 2 years. I've tried pretty much every method out there, and lately, I've gotten really good at it. I'm finally seeing consistent results. This is actually the first time I'm in a relationship while actively practicing the law of assumption. When I first joined the community, it was right after a breakup, so this experience feels totally new. Naturally, I wanted to experiment a little. For about a week, I affirmed things like, "He's so kind to me. He's the best version of himself. He's literally the perfect man for me." And guess what? He started showing up exactly like that, loving, caring, just amazing. Then, just out of curiosity, I stopped affirming the good stuff and let myself spiral into negative assumptions about him. I didn't correct my thoughts, didn't replace them, just let the negativity run wild. And honestly, he started reflecting that back to me too. He began showing up in ways I really didn't want. It was such a powerful reminder of how fast our thoughts project into the 3D. Seriously, it's wild how responsive reality is when you really pay attention. So here's my takeaway. Stick to one story. Don't flip-flop. Don't get distracted by what the 3D is showing you, especially when it doesn't match your desire. It's all just old assumptions playing out. Your new story is the only one that matters. I'm now going back to affirming the version of him I do want, and I already know he'll show up exactly that way. That's my rule, and I'm not accepting anything less. Happy manifesting. I used to be obsessed with this guy. Like, full main character spiral. Journaling, affirming. I remember when he wasn't in my life, crying to thoughts every night like a Victorian ghost widow. It was dramatic. The thing is, it ended embarrassingly. I said some cringe stuff, he got weird, I blocked him. It was a mess and I literally wanted to evaporate from the shame. Fast forward a few months, I'd been diving into Neville, mostly to work on self-concept and honestly just stop giving a shit. I started doing revision, not even to get him back, but to stop feeling like I embarrassed myself. I'd fall asleep imagining the convo went well, that he actually said he admired my honesty, that we parted on good terms. Sometimes I'd even imagine us laughing about the past. That's it. No affirming for him. No thoughts to get him back. Just revising my own timeline so I didn't cringe thinking about it anymore. Anyway. Out of nowhere, he texts me. After like 6 months of silence. He goes, "I know this is random, but I've been thinking about that conversation we had and I actually really respected how upfront you were. I was just immature then. I'd love to see you again if you're open to it." And I didn't even want him anymore. Like I had moved on. But there he was, basically repeating my revised scene back to me word for word like a damn script. Revision works. Even if you think you messed things up beyond repair. Even if you don't want your SP anymore. Your assumptions really do shape reality, and the past is never set in stone. It does work, yes. And circumstances really do not matter. My SP is now my husband. In the 3D. A little backstory. 1. He told me while we were just a fling that we would never be in a relationship. 2. He told me that it would be really hard for someone to get a wedding band on his finger. 3. He told me he wanted to be single always because that was what matched his lifestyle, which was travel the world on his own. 4. He was always partying, and once in a while a new random girl would pop up on his phone notifications. 5. He wanted to live by himself. 6. He said many times marriage didn't make sense in his head because he knew it never worked. 7. He was never romantic. 8. He was on a dating app. 9. At one point we got into a huge fight and he cut me off. Then he slowly came back to my life as a friend, but wouldn't touch me. I want you to keep in mind that this man was always very respectful, kind and caring to me because that is his personality. We had a beautiful friendship and he has good morals. But in terms of commitment, it seemed like a lost cause because he said it himself firmly multiple times not to expect that from him, and even told me to date other people. Over the course of 2 years, he repeated to me how he did not and would never want to commit, wear a wedding ring or live together. All of his plans for the future were in the first person: I will, I like, I dream to, I want. During 8 to 10 months, I lost count, I immersed myself in this reality that existed only in my head, that we were indeed married, living together, that he was romantic, that he told me every day that he loved me, that he gave me a wedding ring, that we were so happy in this committed relationship we had. Spoiler alert, that all happens now in the 3D world. Things I did. 1. I imagine all day. Driving to work I repeated to myself affirmations about this. I would tell myself going back home that I was so happy because he would be there waiting for me. 2. I imagined that I was wearing a wedding ring and he was too. 3. I imagined him telling me that he loved me. 4. I imagined that he was sleeping next to me every night before bed. I would say out loud, "Good night, my love, I love you," and hear him saying it back. 5. I imagined waking up next to him every morning. I would say out loud, "Good morning, my love, I love you," and hear him saying it back. 6. I imagined that we had plans to travel and that we would go get groceries together. 7. I imagined that he would eat the dinner I cooked. In fact, I bought drinks, snacks, things in general at the grocery store thinking about him having them. 8. I imagined that he was in the house while I was using the bathroom, and that's why I closed the door and tried not to fart loudly. 9. I imagined him telling me that he deleted the dating app because he was in love with me. 10. I had half of my closet empty because in my head, that was his side of the closet. And I had a few empty drawers in my dresser that were also for him. I also bought a shoe organizer that hangs over the closet door and imagined it was for his shoes. That's all physically real now? And much more. No, I didn't feel happy and content. I pretended to be. And anytime I had a negative feeling or thought, I would deny it all to myself, saying no, it doesn't matter. He is my husband. We live together. He loves me. We are happy together. He is loyal to me and I'm loyal to him. I am his choice. He is my love and I'm his love. I would do this out loud if I was by myself somewhere, or only in my head if I was around people. Did I believe in it? Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. Good days and bad days. My desire was stronger than any feeling or belief. So I used my desire as my fuel and weapon to fight against negative thoughts and feelings. I did affirm while crying. I did have bad moments where I doubted, and I cried to God saying that it was all a lie and there was nothing and nobody listening and that I was tired of it all. I did get angry at God, myself, really, many times. Things progressed somewhat fast, I'd say. In a shorter time frame than it took me to manifest him back while there were no signs of things working whatsoever. step by step. He first hooked up with me unexpectedly, saying he couldn't hold back anymore. Then he started sleeping over and wanting me to sleep over at his place more often. Then the third party's notifications disappeared. Then he was more and more romantic and loving. Then he said it out loud for the first time in 2 years that he was every day more in love with me. Then he started to introduce me to people as his wife. Then he wanted to go on a romantic trip with me. Then he asked to live together. Then he wanted to marry. Then he gave me a ring. And much more. Boom. Everything I imagined did come true. Everything and more. And I continuously apply this law in my life and our relationship. I manifested him deleting people from his Instagram. And literally in the same week, he deleted 1,200 followers and people he followed from his Instagram. I manifested him letting me use his phone unlocked with no fear. And now he does. All the time. I manifested him leaving a business partnership so he would stop traveling so much for work. And he did. Please believe me. Actually, scratch that. Don't believe me. Try it. I'm immensely thankful to myself for trying and persisting. I'm in a wonderful relationship now with the love of my life, and problems in other areas of my life can't even bother me like they did before I learned and applied the law. If I turned this man around with the shitty self-concept I had at the time, I can turn anything around. I feel fulfilled, loved and happy. And those 3 words were only spoken and thought affirmations months ago. I did not feel any of that. I felt sad, lonely, unloved, and undeserving. Note that now I feel great, loved, and happy because I proved the law to myself, not because he makes me feel that way, even though he does. But I always knew, consciously, that I deserved love, fulfillment, happiness, and all that I wanted to see manifest in my life. I knew that because all I wished for was for my well-being, his, and other people around me. I knew I was a good woman that would value and nurture our relationship. I knew I would only make his life better, and that if God in fact existed, inside or outside of me, he would want that as well. So I persisted. And it worked. This shit works, I promise with all my heart. Don't give up. Persist while you cry sitting in the shower. Persist while you cry laying in bed. Persist while everything around you shows you the opposite of what you want to see. If it worked for me, it will work for you.